This video is a detailed step-by-step instruction how to build a signal tower in modern style in HO scale.
Hello and welcome to this video tutorial in which we will build a signal tower. This signal tower was present in my hometown Gothenburg in the 30s and 40s at the entrance to the main station Gothenburg. This video is sponsored by Model Railroad Academy. Model Railroad Academy is an online resource where you can find tips, information and inspiration. It's also a community of like-minded model enthusiasts where members can learn various techniques, helpful tips, which they can apply on their own layouts. As a member of Model Railroad Academy, you gain access to their huge library of step-by-step detailed video instructions. Whether you're a beginner or master modeler, their aim is to provide new methods, tips and information independent on what level you're at. The first of you 1,000 viewers clicking the link in the video description below gets a premium membership at Model Railroad Academy for only $1.49. So get over to Model Railroad Academy and book yourself for a premium membership there. Here we're gonna get started on the build.
So here's our prototype in real life. This is a signal tower. It's built in the 1930s in modern style with a bay window looking out over the yard. And the style of this tower matches the main station building called the White House, which I will build in a later tutorial. Here you can also see the placement at the entrance of the yard. So I designed this tower using Fusion 360, which is a CAD software. And whilst doing that, I also made some interior. Also added this signal tower to the other designs I made so far, and they're all available here on mrrtutorials.com. If you click on railway structures, you end up at that section. Scrolling down a bit and then you have the signal tower. Clicking on that signal tower, you end up on CG Trader, where you can buy this 3D model set and thereby support the channel. And here I've placed the heavy objects on one plate, which is a good idea when you do prints. That typically gives you the best result. Here are the walls and the third print, the windows. And now you ask yourself, why do the 3D printing instead of buying this as a set or kit in the shops? Well, this tower is not available in the shops. It's a custom made one. Plus the cost to print is like 1/10 of buying the kit. So customization and low cost. After post curing and adding primer, surface primer, I remove any remains of the supports. And with that done, I can do the top paint. Here's the stairs, which are inside. The top paint, I'm kind of thinking that this is a concrete building, so I will mist white spray paint over the walls first. That will give the surface a concrete-like texture, and with that texture in place, I then spray paint the walls so they get all white, and if necessary, do the misting again. So here are all the parts now. The walls are painted white. Here are the interior parts. They're still primer gray. And here are the windows, also painted white. The first thing we're going to do now is to add window panes, the glass. The thinnest and most transparent plastic around is sushi takeaway boxes. I then will glue all the window frames to the glass before cutting it out. And doing that, I'm using a glue which should be applied after it has dried slightly, so it kind of bonds instantly. What's important is to check that the glue you choose is compatible with the sushi package. The advantage with using this method rather than wet glue is that you don't risk having glue floating out on the window glass. This glue in my area is called contact glue. So you apply it using a paintbrush like this, let it dry for 3 minutes, and then you put the window frame in place on the glass, and it bonds instantly. So now I placed all the frames on this sushi package. Now it's time to cut them out, and for that I'm using a scalpel. So it's an advantage to put them all in one row. That makes cutting a whole lot easier. But you see here, the result is perfect. No glue on the windows. And then I glue the frames to the wall using fast set glue. Like this. So snap them in place. Make sure not to put any fingers in the glue and then on the glass, because then you'll anyway end up with glue on the glass. A common question I often get when it comes to assembly of resin printed parts is that, hey, you use super glue to glue your parts together, but mine doesn't stick. Now, one good thing to do is to sand the surfaces slightly ahead of bonding them together. That will give you a tight and quick bond using fast set glue. So now we got 3 walls in place on the base plate. Then I slide in the upper floor. Now before we glue the upper floor in place, I will add wooden texture to it. And I have a range of different floor walls and decorations free to download from mrrtutorials.com. So I'm putting up a link to that so you can use those. So I glue this in place using white glue. PVA-B glue, very thin, and then I cut out the hole for the stairs. And then we're ready to assemble some of the interior here. So getting back to the interior, here are the control boxes. I will use 3 of them. They should be dark gray according to pictures I've seen. These are the chimney stacks, the upper and lower level, and the stairs. Here are some interior which we will fit later, but I start with the fall protection and then the stairs. I glue this in place using fast set glue. Now with these 2 parts in place, I slide the upper floor in place and glue it there. Now we can fit the chimney stack. The purpose with this one, because you don't actually see it, is that it's possible to guide the cables coming from the interior illumination through the chimney stack down. So now we're going to paint these control boxes. These are Ericsson made, or at least the prototype was Ericsson made control boxes. So I paint the levers here in silver, and then I dry brush to enhance the contour of the rest of the controls and indicators, because it's not really possible because they're so small, so you can't paint them individually. Then I glue the 3 boxes together and them as a block onto the floor. Then the chimney stack should probably been better off being painted ahead of assembly, but if you don't do it before, you have to do it afterward. And lastly, some crew members. Alright, now the roof can be just painted black. That will be sufficient, but if you want to do the deluxe version for tar paper, you can buy one of these tapes. It's a medical or surgical tape from 3M. Here in my area, they're available at the pharmacy. So they're kind of pricey, but gives a fantastic look of the tar paper. So I cut them to length, and then I start by adding them at the lower part of the edge of the roof, and then continuing in bands upward and around the roof like this, with a slight overlap, just a millimeter or something. Then cut away, and once ready, it looks like this. Now we're going to use black acrylic paint, preferably matte. This one from Liquitex is set in Mars black, but it will definitely do the trick. I don't thin the paint, so I paint it directly with this thick, so you get kind of also the texture from the flat wide paintbrush. Now, if you don't want to go this way, you can use sanding paper, like 240 grit black sanding paper will do the job too. Now the chimney is brick made and the grout in between is gray like the primer, so I'm kind of dry brushing the brick color here and leaving the joints as they are. And in order to get the chimney on top of the chimney stack, I'm fitting the roof preliminary and then gluing the chimney in place. Now this tower will only be visible from the front on the layout, so it's important that the light is fitted in a way that it illuminates the control boxes and the figures from the front. That means here, but on the inside. There is a joint line here which would support the front wall. And then we need to place the strip on the inside here. The strips I'm using is 12 volt. These LEDs are too bright for interior illumination. They will light up the entire neighborhood. We don't want that, but just to try it out, I attach cables directly to it and then I place it on top of my building and we'll see what it looks like. So if we dim the ambient light, then it looks like this, so a bit too bright, but somewhere here it starts to look good. So I'm soldering a 1 kilo ohm resistor in series with this strip, and then I get the right illumination level. Now we can feed the cables through the chimney stack and the hole through the upper floor, and then the cables will come out hidden in the bottom of the building. So now we're ready to assemble the building to the layout. And then one important thing, of course, is to fill the gap in between the building and the ground. Otherwise it will look like the building is flying. So to do that, I'm adding ballast all around to fill the gap. And with that done, I'm masking the building or covering up and spraying with isopropanol, and then I use my eyedropper to glue the ballast, and that also fixes the house to the layout. We need some accessories to this. We're gonna look for rail cargo and scroll down this section to a set called barrels and tubes, because if you remember in the photo of the prototype there were wooden barrels lying next to it. We have the wooden barrels here. I printed and painted them, so I'm now gluing them in place using fast set glue. So it's just to print out, prime and paint.
Alright, so first building completed and assembled to the layout. It's a big step after all the woodwork I've been doing, and also all the track work with ballasting and stuff. I also like this tower. It's great. It has the same kind of modern style as the main station, the White House, which I will build later. And having it here on the entrance to the yard, fantastic. I really like it. I hope you have some takeaways from this video too, that you like the videos. If you want to support the channel, get over to Patreon, set up a support account there from $1, $2, $4, $20 per month, or make a one-off donation using the PayPal dialog found in the video description below. And if you're not yet a subscriber to the channel, subscribe. Enable that little notification bell and you will get a notification once next video gets published. Until that happens, see you.